G'day everyone, welcome back. This is part 9 of my preview series of the 1904 Imperial Sunrise campaign, coming with the 1.08 patch for Strategic Command American Civil War. I'm commanding the Russians, and Old Crow Balthazor is commanding the Japanese. This will be June 24th, 1904. Now, last turn he burst onto the scenes with big army in front of Liaoyang. Should be very interesting. Because this turn, we get our first major reinforcements other than a couple of Cossacks last turn. And there's the artillery. Interesting. And that's why I say you need to keep your units in supply in this campaign as Japan. If you're only able to fight 1 or 2 points, you'll get ground down very, very quickly. Do you have any more units? Can you see the torpedo boats? As one famous ship said during the, well, multiple times during the voyage from the Baltic. If you're not familiar with that story, I highly recommend reading up on it. It is one of the funniest stories in all of military history. Everything to do with the Baltic fleet. It was an absolute clown show. Right, 375 for a new unit. Now, Liaoyang. Can we actually defend it this turn? Let's see how well you. That hurt, but I think that'll be enough to our favour. No. He's got about as many brains as Big Bird does. Alright. In with the cavalry! Why not? Let the Cossacks loose. Cause him some trouble. I've got you. You're not in the best shape I've ever seen. How much will it cost to repair this? That's 168. That's 80. 380. What's that? 210, I think. If I do both of those, that's another brigade. Yeah. I'll get the brigade first. I want to be certain I'm going to get that. And I'll repair you. I'll repair you. And I've got the 10th Corps. Now, where is your cavalry? I'm thinking about ambushes here. If it's there, he has to move it forward in order to spot these. If it's there, he's focused on Liaoyang first. What I'd like to do is deploy this unit as far forward as possible, where if he moves, he has to get ambushed. There's not a lot of space to maneuver the cavalry, so you can't just go around and look for everything, scout out every enemy position, and then move based on that. you're either going to have to move quite slowly or get ambushed. Particularly for these hills, and the weather's fine at the moment, but later, and I guess earlier in the war, there'll be lots of snow and other general unpleasantness. I suppose you could move the cavalry there if you wanted to. Though I did smash it up pretty hard last turn as well. The other thing I've got to consider is, will he try and outflank Liao Yang? I expect he'll try and cut this line off by putting something there, because that'll... It won't cripple the supply, because Port Arthur's a supply source and Mukden's able to get supply from supply sources further to the north. But it does sort of split the Russian army up, and Russia can't deploy new units in Port Arthur. What are my options? There he knows about. There it's pretty unlikely he ever would. Because he'd have to move this out the way, or one of his further forward units. Or I suppose if you put it there, you'd also spot it. I know if I was Japan in this situation, I'd be moving the cavalry there next turn, and then occupying all of this. So that's a good thought. I do know he has a brigade, certainly there at one point, might not still be there. Well, it's pretty likely it's still there. Just the terrain around it indicates that. They'll likely come up here. Next turn he'd want to take that. He cuts that, that's not great for our railroad shenanigans. So I might put you here. I hope Liao Yang will hold out. If he's throwing his entire army at it, it doesn't have any chance regardless. So it might be worth just slowing him down with that. I get another... What, 16 days is the next turn. That's 6 is June 30. It's about July 10. So I get 2 more next turn, and then 3 the following. That should be enough to slow him down before he could actually take Mukden. The cores are pretty strong. If you've got prepared attacks as Japan and you've still got your experience and everything, you can get through them. It'll cost you an arm and a leg. If you don't have prepared attacks, you're going to have a lot of trouble getting through them. Particularly, I know he's got his artillery down here. Artillery's not mobile. Most of the other Japanese units are quite mobile, but artillery's not. I guess he'll also try and take Talisu, but, well, put these further north so he doesn't know they're there. But, Now, Bite, you said last turn you were going to put the brigade in Vladivostok, and already you're thinking about doing other stuff with it. These 3 don't know exactly what they're going to do. Maybe ambush the cruiser if I can get there in time. Otherwise, just cause general mayhem. The other option is camp them down near Okinawa somewhere and hope they can meet up with the Baltic Fleet, but I don't think they're going to be able to remain hidden that long. Japan gets a good few intel hits most turns, so I imagine these 3 will get spotted at some point. So I'd rather just cause trouble for a bit and then waste his points. I do know he's spending a lot of points on upgrading his battleships to strength 11. I'm not sure what the benefit in that is. I don't think it's as great as he might be imagining it to be. Because Japan really has to strike very hard on land. Sort of, after about October, the weather becomes too bad for them to break through, and by early 1905, Russia's just going to have too many units for Japan to break through unless they've already gutted Russia's fighting spirit earlier. So, whereas the Baltic Fleet's the only challenge the Japanese Navy's really going to face, particularly if I don't have all my things in Port Arthur. Like, up here, these ships can't do anything at the moment. I'm fine with that for the time being. I really want to just get forces in the field and blunt this attack before it completely overwhelms, particularly Mukden. Mukden's a very key position on this map. Without it, it's pretty much impossible to relieve Port Arthur once the artillery gets unloaded. The siege artillery, that is. The first unit of that deploys in June, the second in August. If you transport it here, then you've got to march it overland. That takes a while, or you can much more efficiently just amphib it to about here and then bombard Port Arthur. Port Arthur can fall by January 1905 quite conceivably, so of course that's when it did historically as well. So lots to think about. Be very interesting to see. Well, I'm keen to see the Japanese side of this, what he's planning. Be interesting. Of course, what the next turns bring, don't know at this point. But that's all for this turn. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.